Right, we're good.
Awesome.
So we'll just start with lesson 7, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the first one said, what is the purpose of the program evaluation? And I
Mm-hmm.
just put to provide vital data about the program's strongest and weakest points.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I kind of like looked at it more of the perspective of helping, I mean, doing that. And by doing that, it's helping the educators evaluate their program so they know what they need to change, and that's okay. So they know what they need to change or what is good, or yeah, things like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And then, why is it important to have a clear understanding of your vision and the program goals and objectives for your program before assessing the program?
What I was thinking about this, because I was thinking about what I would put in my own assessment, like in response to this question, now that we have done the assessments a couple of weeks ago, like I didn't have a goal or an idea of what I wanted to assess. I wouldn't have any idea of like how to make an assessment or what to put in my assessment. And if I didn't have an understanding or vision of what I wanted, then there'd be no point, I think, to assessing it because you don't know if you've succeeded or failed because you didn't have a goal or a vision. So it kind of defeats the purpose of an assessment if you don't have a vision or a goal.
No, absolutely. And I liked how what was it? They told the story about that group that thought they had failed because they got a 49 or a 51%, but how you had to look at it if if the 49% or 51, whatever it was positive on like their strongest goals, then it was actually successful.
Then that's pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And then 3 was, what are some basic things about your family life education program you would like to know in order to improve the program's effectiveness? What questions do you need to have answered to improve the program? I just put the strengths and weaknesses of the program, what the best parts were, and what they learned the most from. Because
Yeah.
those let me know, if everybody's not saying this one thing, then maybe I should cut it out.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good idea. Um, I want to make sure that my workshop is helpful and actually like motivating and helping them like actually improve or feeling like they want to improve or do those things to help their marriage because it's about strengthening marriage, my workshop. And so that was a big thing for me, was just knowing that my program was helpful and educational. They felt like they learned something and then they took something away that they could then go home and do and feel like it was helping. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If it improves their marriage, you've done your job for sure.
Exactly. Like I wanted to help them to do something good. Yeah.
Oh, and then it just says, in a nutshell, what is your plan for assessing your program? I just put that I'm using a questionnaire that assesses both quantitative and qualitative questions.
Mm.
It'll be handed out at the end. Or though, actually, I'm kind of thinking I'm just going to hand it out at the beginning so that they know what to look for.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. What are your plans?
I just kind of I was just thinking of doing it at the end, I mean. But that is an interesting point because then I don't know, because I think a lot of my questions they're like it's feedback on me, on the material, and on their experience.
Mhm.
And so some of those questions I'm not sure if it would be good, the ones that I wrote, if it would be good that they knew beforehand, or if it would be more like helpful to get their response after. I'm not sure. But yeah, I probably will just hand them an assessment after. It's like a little questionnaire, like the Likert scale
Yeah, that's what I.
type. Yeah, I kind of like took some of the pages that they provided with the class. They had like all those examples, so I kind of took some ideas from those and made a little feedback assessment. So yeah,
Yeah,
I think I might do it at the end. But
yeah.
yeah.
Maybe I'll do it at the end too then.
I mean, it depends on the questions, I guess. And
Yeah,
yeah, I
I'll
don't
look
know.
it over again.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But yeah, those are so helpful. I don't know what I would do without those what would you call like the example papers?
Yeah, yeah. It's very nice to have because I just pulling it out of thin air, it's like, well, I have no idea.
I'm like,
But
I don't know what you're looking for, but luckily with this, you have an idea.
exactly, exactly. Is the next one just the next reading? So
Yeah,
chapter 8,
definitely. Yeah.
the ethics section, which is good. It's interesting, but I think some like ethics can be a difficult subject as well because
Yeah,
there's always that.
this section kind of started to freak me out because I was like, I don't know how to answer these questions. I can't talk to these people.
I know, like the case study. I was like, whoa, what do I do? What do I do?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, there was
I'm sure.
one question in our reading that was, okay, what was it? Because I talked about it. It was something about like same gender parenting and you remember that question?
Yeah, I do.
I was like, I don't know how to answer this. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, I brought up like same gender issues in my answers. I'm sure we're going to go over them just because I think that is some like an ethical thing that will be difficult for me because I have a personal belief that marriage between a man and a woman. And so if that is brought up in a marriage class, I think that will be, I mean, I'm sure I'll learn how to deal with it and that there are ways to go about it, but that is something that's difficult to address. And anyway, without seeming, because you can't seem biased and you can't seem,
Mhm.
of course I'd be respectful because I am respectful. I respect people. But anyway, it's hard.
It is for sure.
Yeah. But the first question I think is talking about how the code of ethics would help strengthen
Mm.
your practice,
Yeah.
relationship with the people you teach. And I think I mean, I simply just put it will help me know how to react and treat a situation in which there's an ethical dilemma and like how I think it'll help prepare me the more I get familiar with the code of ethics and practice it. It'll help me know how to react to people and to situations in a professional manner.
Exactly. Yeah, I just put that it'll give you greater sensitivity and it'll prevent you from saying something or promoting harmful advice or ideas like they talk.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Just help me be respectful.
Mhm.
Because I don't think I would ever intentionally offend someone, but like you were saying, knowing having the code of ethics in your head, it makes you more aware of what you say and how it could offend someone. You have to be careful. And so yeah, I think it helps.
Yeah,
Anyway,
'cause there's
yeah.
always things you don't think about.
Yeah, exactly. Were there any ethics principles that captured your attention specifically?
I like that it talked about respecting parents. I really liked the case study that we did about the parents that were from another country and that they had different, rules and different it was just a different culture
Yeah.
and how ultimately you have to respect the parents and even though the family life educators are knowledgeable and they can offer that knowledge, it's really up to the parents. And I also like that it broke it down into like children, adults, and then colleagues because that
Yeah, that's interesting.
understand like each age and how to apply them for specific people.
Yeah. No, I quite that was one thing that actually like stood out to me was the section on like young like children and making your workshops and stuff be able to focus on children because when I thought about the workshops I wanted to do for this semester, I just thought of like marriage and parenting and like I just had adults in mind.
Mhm.
I forget that like absolutely we could work with children at some point and we have to be able to cater to them and respect them and but yeah, that was something that stood out to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would probably be harder for me to do children than adults.
Yeah, I think so. I think, yeah, I would be, yeah.
I'd be like, are you getting this? Is any of this clicking? I can't tell.
Yeah. Well, and I think, yeah, discussion is really helpful for me when I'm presenting or teaching something because it helps me see like what they're learning and what they're not learning and what they're getting out of it. And I feel like children won't, the discussion would be different. I wouldn't be able to read those things as well.
Yeah.
I
definitely.
find that in my young women's class actually, because my young woman's only 12, and we have a little discussion, but and sometimes they'll talk about something and it seems like she knows it, and then we ask another question and it's like she doesn't yet. So yeah, it would be more difficult.
Yeah. Well, it's like my husband teaches the 8-year-olds in primary, and he'll be like explaining a principle, and then someone will raise their hand. He'll be like, "Yeah," and he'll be like, "I like dinosaurs." So it's just a different group.
It is, yeah. So it is good that they have like ethics that are just that will help us prepare for that as well.
Exactly.
I just wanted to mention also one of the ethics that kind of like didn't take me by surprise, but that stood out to me was just the importance of us being aware of the impact and power that we have on the people we teach. Because, I mean, I don't think I've thought about that as much. I mean, I've thought about it in the way that, like, oh, yeah, I want to help these people and teach them what I know, but I haven't thought about it in the, like, you may have more power impact than you think, so you have to be aware of that. And that just like didn't overwhelm me, but it was just kind of a moment of like, wow, like I feel really young and I don't feel like I know that much, but they may think that I know everything. And that can be quite intimidating. So I have to be careful what I say because they might like really take it all to heart and really believe it. And so,
Yeah.
which
Especially
hopefully,
people that are really looking for help, you know?
yeah, absolutely. Which I mean, that may seem silly that that was such like a that just stood out, but for some reason I was like, oh yeah, I
Yeah, no,
I
it's
will
a little
teach.
overwhelming. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Then it says, what questions do you have related to the code of ethics? I didn't have any questions. It was just more like, I'm still not sure how to answer every question, based on the ethics code, but
Yeah. Yeah.
hopefully that comes with experience, like we said.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. I didn't really have any specific questions of the ethics code. It's more how I will be able to apply it, I guess, or how I can use it to react in different situations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was, how did your value system influence you as you teach?
In
I
every way.
Yeah, I had a hard time with this one because, I started to think, is my value system a positive or a negative,
Mm,
in certain teaching situations? Because we were talking about like the same gender questions and things like that, it would seem like a negative because it makes the situation really hard. And then, but, your value system can also be positive. It'll, if you value human life, you can be compassionate. If you value your faith, you can teach with the spirit. And so,
yeah.
there's pros and cons, I guess.
Yeah. I think it's interesting timing with that question because I think all of us will be extremely influenced by our values. But then at one point, will that hurt us in an ethical dilemma or help us in an ethical dilemma? So I think it will influence. But I think it's good that we have this question, that we're more aware that we will, like, that we know we will be influenced. And so hopefully we'll be able to see that we'll still be able to be ethical despite our bias value opinion and with certain subjects. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but
No, I kind of want to like email the teacher and ask what her opinion is because I actually am really curious.
yeah. Well, it is interesting because at the beginning of this semester, I wasn't sure if I could bring in church material or like spiritual things into the workshop. Because I was like, oh, maybe it's probably just going to have to be like educational. And that's what I assumed. But then Sister Beale was like, no, like absolutely, that can really help. Especially if my target audience is mostly members, which it probably will be. But so I was quite surprised. I was like, oh, really? I can do that? So, yeah.
No, I was super surprised too because I emailed her, what my plan was because we all had to. And then she emailed back and she's like, are you presenting to LDS audiences? Why don't you use all these things? And I was like, I thought this wasn't like an LDS thing. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Which then I guess like that's an answer of that. It can be good for our value system to influence us. And because a lot of our beliefs are really strengthen the studies and everything that shows how to strengthen relationships and how to have a happy family and cohesive marriage and things like that. So
Yeah, that's a really good point.
but they strengthen that research. So
Yeah.
anyway, I don't know. Yeah. It talks about ethical dilemmas arising, or like when we could see that happening, I think.
Oh yeah. How would you approach working with someone who has different contradicting values?
Oh, sorry. Hold on. I have to get that real quick. I'll be right back.
That's mommy's friend. Yep. We're in a class together.
What did
Yeah.
they?
You're working on school?
Okay.
Damn, that was fast.
Yeah, we're just in a little apartment, so the door's not that far away.
Oh, nice.
Right. So the question is about working with people who have a different opinion than us.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's the same as anything, is just having respect. I mean, making your opinions known so that you can defend yourself and your what you think, but respecting another opinion and just being a good person. And
And I put teaching from a shared value too, because I mean, everyone has things that they agree on. No one's, no one's completely different on everything. So
yeah, that's a good
some
point.
ideas.
Focus on why you're similar and why you agree.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good point. And maybe on things we disagree, that could be a strength, because maybe people in the workshop we're teaching will have different views, and so you can have one person who has one view and another, and they could see that and say that it's
true.
okay to have different views.
Definitely. Oh, and then the next one was about mandatory ethics versus, what was the word they used? I don't know. Oh, aspiration ethics. So I didn't have like a great answer on this one, but I was thinking maybe it was just that people are sensitive and compassionate because they want to be, rather than having to adhere to rules, and they're, more accountable to themselves rather than other people. I didn't really get the question, honestly.
Is this the one that talked about like it being a higher standard?
Mm-hmm.
Having a sensitivity to the effects of your intervention, I mean, in the welfare of others. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, I said a similar thing in that, like, it's really up to you to how careful or not you will be. And so I think that puts you to a higher standard, because there's no set guideline. Like, you have to be aware and be sensitive. You have to be proactively making sure.
Work for it. Yeah. That's
exactly.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where it's more of a high standard.
Yeah. Now I understand the question. Thank you.
No problem. I mean, I don't know if I understood it right, but that's how I saw it. Yeah. Don't know if I got all these questions on my outline, but my next thing, I just talked about the skills and qualities that will help me be an ethical athlete. I don't know if that completely skipped a bunch, but it was interesting to try and think about this, because I don't know, I don't like tooting my own horn. So I was like, well, I'm this and I'm so great at this. But I think I'm quite an observant person, and so I'm hoping that will help me be able to feel and recognize how people are feeling in the workshop, and to make sure that everyone feels respected and comfortable, and that I'm not stepping on any toes or like offending people. And I'm quite optimistic, so hopefully that like optimism will help keep things light, and like to look for the best in people. So hopefully that will help with my ethical side of being an educator.
No, definitely. Those are really good. I like those. I just put knowledge, like from all my classes, and then compassion and patience.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think that's a huge part of like facing ethical dilemmas as patients. Like with the case studies we had, I think a lot of it is just being patient with other people who are different from you, and learning to accept them for who they are and work with them in the way that they're ready to be worked with, and learning when to push your views, and when to kind of swallow your pride. And
Yeah, no, definitely.
yeah.
And this last section is long. We're in lesson 9, and it says, in a nutshell, what is the basic purpose or goal of the article from Myers-Wall et al.? Honey, sorry, just a second.
Oh, it's fine.
A little too loud. We're gonna put it right there. Oh yeah, so this was the article about how family life education, family therapy, and family case management are all related, but they're also unique professions.
Yeah.
So I think their goal was just to improve the professions for all of the professionals and the people that they teach.
Yeah, and I think it was to like clarify where the professions overlap and where they're very different, and where like each one addresses different issues for families.
Yeah.
Because I think that the point of their article was just to say, like, a lot of people get this confused, that they think this and like overlaps in all of these, like a family life educator can give advice and on like things that only a family therapist should give advice on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it talked about the concern that they have with Doherty's model, and do we agree or disagree? So they were concerned that it conceptualizes FLE and FT, I keep reading that as ET, in a hierarchical relationship, so that like one is higher than the other.
Yeah, because it had like the levels, didn't it?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Doherty.
But I agreed with their concerns. I thought it made a lot of sense. I thought they had a good argument.
Yeah, no, I agreed with everything that they said. And I agreed that I think Doherty's model was it was too simplistic to be able to describe each profession and what their role was. So yeah.
Yeah. And then, what is your role and responsibility in working with families as a family life educator? If you had to choose 3 words to describe them, what would they be?
My 3 words were educate, motivate, and advocate.
That's really good.
Thanks.
I used 2 of yours, but I really like advocate. That's really good. I did educate, motivate, and inspire.
That's a good one. Very nice.
Not as good as advocate, though. I like that.
Thanks. Yeah, I saw that. I was looking back on the ethics code and I saw that word pop up a few times. I was like, advocate. That's part of family life education.
Totally, yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, and then it just talks about what services you're most qualified for.
Oh yeah, for that question, I just kind of focused on family life education because personally, I think that's what I would just stick to. I don't think I'm gonna go into family therapy or family case management.
Yeah.
So I said, I'd be as a family life educator, I'd be more qualified to provide services that educate and build knowledge and skills that would help families like be strengthened and function as best they could.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I put.
Nice.
Well done.
Thanks, you too.
And then why is it so important that whatever our training is, we understand our limits and boundaries?
That's a good one.
I feel like we've gone over this question a million times, but it's, just that we have potential for good, but we have potential for harm too when we work outside of what what we've been trained for.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, basically what I said.
Yeah.
We can end up hurting families more than we help them if we try and do more than we're capable of, or that we.
And I definitely would.
I know, and I think it is good that this keeps coming up, because I'm like, yeah, I probably could see myself doing this. I have to be careful with that. Sometimes I worry if, like, in my workshop, if I open up for discussion and ask a question, and then I get responses that they're like asking me for advice. I shouldn't be worried about that, because I should just know, like, I'm not qualified to give you that advice, but here's the information that we can get from this person, or
Yeah.
But I could see that happening, and I hope I don't take the bait and try and give advice or something.
Same here. And then does the Myers-Wall article help you see why it's so important not to slide into the role of counselor and therapist? I think we just went over that, but
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not qualified.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I quite liked the article. It helped clarify the different roles between the different professions and where I should stop and where the other role begins and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good.
Yeah. All right, I think we're good.
Awesome. Thanks, Ashley.
Thanks, Abby.
I'll see
Bye.
you later. Bye.